Hollywood, the land of dreams. But behind the glamour, behind the lights, the cameras, the red carpets, lived a darker truth. 6 directors, 6 men with power, and the women whose bodies became their canvas. This is the story they never wanted told. Number 1. Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, they called him. But behind the camera, behind the perfectly framed shots, lived a man with a very dark obsession. Alfred Hitchcock discovered Tippi Hedren in a simple meal replacement commercial. He signed her. He groomed her. He isolated her from the entire cast, warning co-stars, do not touch her. On the set of The Birds, he stalked her. He drove past her house at all hours. And when she refused his advances, he lunged at her in the back of his limousine. On Marnie, he installed a secret door directly connecting his office to her dressing room. He walked in and assaulted her. When she finally said no, he looked her in the eyes and said, I will ruin your career. And he did. He kept her locked in a contract for almost 2 years, doing nothing, going nowhere. Tippi Hedren later wrote in her memoir, Hitchcock may have ruined my career, but I never gave him the power to ruin my life. Number 2. Josef von Sternberg. He didn't just direct her, he created her. Josef von Sternberg discovered Marlene Dietrich in 1929, an unknown German actress who barely anyone believed in. He fought for her. He cast her, and then he owned her. He controlled every detail of her appearance. The lighting, the angles, the poses. He didn't see her as a person. He saw her as his living sculpture, his Galatea. Scholars have documented how von Sternberg's camera obsessively moved across Dietrich's body, breaking her into fragments, legs, lips, eyes, turning a woman into an object of pure desire. In his own autobiography, he coldly wrote, I gave her nothing that she did not already have. He took credit for her very existence. Number 3. Cecil B. DeMille. He called himself the master of Hollywood, and he was. But Cecil B. DeMille had a very specific formula: spectacle, religion, and women's bodies. In his 1932 film, The Sign of the Cross, he cast Claudette Colbert as the wickedest woman in the world. And his very first scene with her, he placed her completely nude, in a bath filled with 500 gallons of ass's milk. Cameras rolling, nothing left to imagination. He made it clear. If censors cut that scene, they'd lose the entire plot. A calculated move to make her body non-negotiable. DeMille sold morality and religion wrapped in the skin of women. Faith on the outside, flesh on the inside. Hollywood called it genius. History calls it something else. Number 4. Howard Hughes. He wasn't just a billionaire, he was a collector. And his most prized collection was women. Howard Hughes discovered Jane Russell working as a simple receptionist. One look, and he signed her to a 7-year contract. Then, he built an entire marketing campaign around a single thing. Not her talent, not her voice, her body. He designed a cantilevered underwire bra specifically to expose more of her breasts on camera. He fought censors for years just to keep those shots in. He was saying the quiet part out loud, announcing to the world that he was selling women's bodies, while every other studio was pretending they weren't doing the same thing. He didn't make stars, he manufactured them. Frame by frame, curve by curve. Jane Russell was never a person to Howard Hughes. She was a product. Number 5. Otto Preminger. They called him Otto the Terrible, and he earned every letter of that name. Otto Preminger was one of Golden Age Hollywood's most powerful directors. But behind that power lived a man who saw actresses not as artists, but as instruments to be broken. He screamed at Jean Seberg over and over, reducing her to tears on set. Linda Darnell collapsed during the filming of Forever Amber from his daily psychological abuse and had to be given 10 days off by a doctor. He told model and actress Iman on set, "Don't shout. Shouting should not be done by women, only by men like me." He conducted a secret 4-year affair with Dorothy Dandridge, then coldly refused to leave his wife because a permanent relationship with a black star was too risky for his reputation. He used women's bodies, their talent, their pain, and walked away spotless. Number 6. Elia Kazan. He was called the greatest director in America, but greatness has a price, and women paid it. Elia Kazan built his legacy on women's bodies. In his own autobiography, he openly admitted to torrid affairs with actresses, including Marilyn Monroe. Then came Baby Doll, his 1956 film featuring Carroll Baker as a barely legal teenage bride sleeping in a crib in a skimpy nightgown while the camera watched. The film was banned in multiple countries for what authorities called exaggerated sexual content. Time magazine declared it the dirtiest American-made motion picture ever legally exhibited. Carroll Baker later wrote in her autobiography that she spent years trying to escape that image, trying to be seen as more than what Kazan's camera made her. She never fully could. Hollywood sold you dreams, but now you know what was behind them. If this story shook you, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe. Because the darkest chapters of history are always the ones nobody talks about. Until now.